Do you want to set up pie charts in SharePoint? If you want to use SharePoint to do charting, the options provided to you out of the box are limited. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can do all kinds of different pie charts where you can configure the colors, the borders, the size, the background, everything about the appearance of whatever kind of pie chart you want to create. It's really easy to do, and I'm going to walk you through 10 examples and show you just exactly how you can set these up in your own SharePoint environment. So let's get SharePoint smart. Okay, here I am in SharePoint Online, and I've got some examples that we'll take a look at. First of all, let me just show you what you need. You just need a regular SharePoint list with some columns of numeric data. So I've got an example here where I'm tracking sales across different categories. I've got electronics, software, services, furniture, subscriptions, appliances, and supplies. That's all that you need, just a single SharePoint record like this. And from that, we can have pie charts displayed in SharePoint for us very easily. So I'm going to show you some examples of the kind of pie charts you can have displayed from your SharePoint list view. And we'll just walk through different options that are available. So here's one that's got a light blue background. You can see it's a gradient. So it starts at the bottom from a white background and it goes up to light blue in the background. And then we've got labels for the dollar amounts for different categories on there. So that's an example of a look you can get for your pie chart. My second example, it's just got some different color options. And also what I want you to notice, the labels are different. In this case, I've got the dollar sign in there to indicate currency data. And then we've got a key on the right side. So you have options as far as displaying a key to users because they, of course, want to know what those categories are. So that's a different configuration. It's got thicker borders on our pie slices as well. Third one, we're using more of a dark background. So if you want a more bold theme that's going to stick out a little bit, you can do that. In this case, we've got the labels showing at the bottom. So this is an example of how you could do a dark theme and have a white border around your pie chart sections. The next example I'm going to show you is something where you can do it inline in a list view. So in this case, I've got a percentage indicator and I'm showing it as a pie chart directly in my SharePoint list view. And this is dynamic. It's going to update real time according to whatever values I put in. So if I just hit enter, you're going to see that updates immediately. That's another example of how you can use these templates to do pie charts in SharePoint. Now, of course, closely related are donut charts. And the only difference with the donut chart, of course, is that the middle is cut out. So let's take a look at some examples of how we can do a donut chart. Okay, so it's the same concept. It uses the same data. It's just a different look. We've just got the middle section cut out, and then we can control the width of the donut too. You'll see some differences as I go through my examples. So this one has the key at the bottom, and it's got labels on it. Then in my next example, you're going to see it's a bit wider for the donut, and then we've got the key on top. This one's got the blue background going. And then our last one, we're going back to the dark theme, showing the key on the right-hand side. So you can see there's some different distinctive looks that you can do according to the settings you do with your configuration. And I'm going to show you how that all comes together in a moment. Now, there are some other closely related charts that you can do with the same data. So the first of the three of these I'm going to show you is the radar chart. And in this case, what it does is make a figure. It looks like a spider web. Sometimes you'll hear this referred to as a spider chart as well. And we've got the categories on the outside, and then it's going to basically be somewhat like a line chart where it's going to go ahead and have points indicated on there and then fill in the area. So it's just a different kind of a concept, a different look, which you can do with the same type of data. Another kind of chart we can do is a polar chart, and also with the same data. In this case, all the wedges are the same in terms of how far they go around the outside, but what changes is how far they go in terms of their overall height. So we can see a key at the bottom, and this is just a little different kind of a look that you could do. So some interesting concepts in charting that we can do from pie chart based data. The last one I'll show is an area chart. This is another way to show a representation of quantitative data that shows larger shapes according to those values. So in this diagram, it helps me understand, clearly services and electronics, those are the large values, and then the smaller values are towards the bottom. And instead of it being displayed in a pie chart, it's showing me a grid with rectangular shapes that are proportionate to the size of the values. So that's a different kind of a concept you could demonstrate with your same data. All right, so how are you able to set these up in SharePoint? In order to do that, you will use the SharePointDashboards.com site. And in this site, if you click on Get Started, you're going to see all kinds of different examples of charting you can do. In our case, we're using the pie chart template and the Gantt chart template, as well as a column template, which is called pie percent. I'll show you where that is. There it is. And you'll just work from this template screen. The first thing you should do when you get to the pie chart template is you're going to check out the different theme options. So just like we've been doing, you can see some preset examples of different colors options that you can do. And you, of course, can manually configure all of this. If I want to individually change characteristics, I can do things like adjust the font size. I can most definitely adjust the background if I want to go for a different look on that. That all can be done from these settings. What you'll do is provide the names of your SharePoint fields. So you want to indicate how many columns of data you're using, and then you're going to enter that data in these fields. And then once you've got that set, you can click on Copy Template. It gives you the instructions, and then you can go back to SharePoint and you can simply paste that into your view. So the way that works is you go to the View selector and select Format Current View, and then you can just paste in the code coming from the SharePoint dashboard site. So very easy to do. If you haven't used SharePoint dashboards before, you can always get in here and get started for free. So if you go to SharePointDashboards.com, you can just click on Get Started and then click on Start Free, and then you can do some of the free templates. And then once you have some exposure to that and you understand how this works, you can sign up for the subscription, which includes all of the charting template. And in fact, there are, as of this video, more than 200 different templates available to you. One additional thing that I would like to point out, we do include a complete charting training program that's under Help, and then click on Charting, and this will walk you through and provide data. It's a step-by-step video training which will show you how to make any kind of charts that you want. So that's something that'll help you get started with SharePoint dashboards if you're brand new to it and just getting started with the charting. So those were examples of pie charts and charts that are similar that use the same data as pie charts. All of this can be done in SharePoint Online. You don't have to install any software. It's simple copy and paste from the SharePoint dashboard site over to your SharePoint site, and you can display these charts to all your users just using list views in SharePoint. So if you're interested in doing pie charts and you want to have a lot of different options for configurations, this is a great tool to help you do that. I hope you have some cool pie charts in your SharePoint environment soon, and good luck.